Let's design a range hood. I just launched Fusion 360 and started a new document. This is a hybrid design. I want to be able to put components and parts in the same uh, drawing. And all I've done other than set the units, make this a hybrid design, I imported the canvas. So that's under here, under Insert, Insert Canvas. Then I picked a face and I put this image in. So let me put that on the front plane here. Let's zoom in. And looks like this is mirrored off of the picture I found on Facebook. But we'll go for it. So when you work with canvases, one of the things that you want to do is make it some realistic approximation of the size. So I think this is probably about 6 feet wide. Oh, we don't like plural of feet. Tells you how much we're working in imperial units. Great. And then this button down here will fit that. Now this is a bit of an angle which is not ideal, but we're going to go for it. So with setting the canvas lets me scaling the canvas lets me make guesstimated measurements on this, which is good because I'm working here from a single photograph and a description. So, all right. And the ask is if we can model this or how you would model this. So, like everything else in Fusion, we're going to do this as creating a sketch. We're going to have this sketch be on what is effectively the back wall of the drawing here. I can hide this canvas. This little button over here. So looking at this, the core shape looks like it's rounded on the front and the sides as well. So we've got a complex compound curve, and then we've got this tube going up at the back. Now, looking at how it's put together, these look like angle iron or L iron, and then there's another piece in the back. So let's do this as a. Did I already start a sketch? I did already start a sketch. Great. Even though I'm in my sketch, I'm going to edit this canvas. I'm going to wiggle it up a little bit to put them right there on the origin. All right. I'm going to draw a couple of lines here. First line I'm going to draw is a midpoint line. Bink. And this guy is 6 feet long, 72 inches. Okay, and then we go up some distance. Before I go up some distance, I'm also going to make a center line. It's something I just learned about. So L for line, center line will start right here and go up. So center line does some neat little magic things when you go to do symmetry and things. So I thought that was kind of neat. Let's figure out how tall this guy is. And alpha line, give me a line over here. Oh. So I want these to follow each other. So we're going to do a symmetric constraint between these two lines and then pick the middle line. Magical. And there's already a perpendicular constraint down here that makes this perpendicular. And I'm going to say that this guy is probably a foot tall. That looks about right. Okay. Now this line up top is not constrained. We make him horizontal vertical. And now we have a box. Finish. Okay. Now, how deep is a stove normally? I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, so when I mouse over this center line is breaking this into two separate profiles. So I'm going to go back in and edit this profile. Hey, buddy, you there? Okay, edit sketch. You can do it. Good job. X to turn that into a construction line where now it doesn't break the profile. Awesome. Sketch. Let's ask the Google, how deep is a stove? Standard depth of a kitchen range is 25 inches. Neat. All right. So we're going to extrude this guy out of the wall 24 inches. Okay, there's that. Now, if I hide the body here and we look at the hood, it looks like it comes down except for this lip that's all the way around the bottom. So a couple ways that I can do that. I'm going to ignore the little lip around the bottom for now. Let me turn the body back on. So we can fillet these edges here. I know that this guy is a foot tall. So if I do 12 inches, then that's going to go all the way down to the bottom. So if I come up a little bit from that, we make it 11 and a half. Then I've got a flat bit around the bottom here. Two different options there. We'll make it 11 and a half. All right, so there's the hood. I want the bit that sticks out the top as well. It's probably going to be its own separate component, but we're going to go ahead and sketch him. So we're going to create a sketch here on this plane. Okay. And that is not flat against the wall. It comes out a bit, and then there's an arc. So sketch, arc, tangent off of this line. Great. Now, before I make that arc, let me draw the line over on the other side. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a tangent constraint. This line, we want a symmetry constraint here between this line and turn on the origin. This line and this guy. There we go. And then I need to project in, P to project, the back line of that thing. That'll make the other geometry there. So now I've got a sketch that shows that. Well, I need to tell it what the dimensions of that are. I don't know. So let's do this. Let's draw a line from about right here, and it says that's 8.9 inches. There is going to be some perspective distortion, so let's make that 8 inches wide. So go back here into the sketch, D for dimension, in these two lines, make that 8 inches. Okay. And it's going to stick out some amount. So I know this is going to be at least, so, this curve here is 4 inches long. I guess I should show that. So D for dimension, and D for dimension on the arc. So that guy is 4 inches. So the center point needs to be at least 4 inches from the wall. Come on, guys. Turn off the canvas. Flip down from the top. Turn off the body. Just hit escape twice. D for dimension. Select the point. Select the back line. 4 inches. Wow, that was way harder than it should have been. Finish sketch. Q to push pull. We're going to bring this up probably 18 inches in most. I'm going to say it's 18 inches. The height of that is really going to depend on what the underlying, how tall the kitchen is, whether there's cabinets above it, that sort of thing. So that's that. Now, right now, this is a solid. If I look here at the bottom of it, I'm looking up underneath it, there's nothing in there. Like it's open. So I can shell this out. Before I shell it out, I'm going to go back and edit that thing that I just did. Edit this guy. And instead of joining him, I'm going to make him into a new body. Okay. So now I got two different bodies over here. Body one is the hood. Body number two is the duct, vent, hose from top to cover, top to cover, top to cover. Sounds nice. Hide that guy. So now I want to shell this guy out to make him hollow. Pick the wrong body, X there. There's the face I want to shell out. Good. And I don't know what thickness metal that is, but I'm going to guess that it is 18 gauge steel, which is actually pretty heavy for that. So let's see how thick 18 gauge steel is. The internet says 18 gauge is approximately 0.0478 inches. 0.0478 inches. There it is. There's the inside of it, and it's hollow. Now, next thing I'm going to do is here on the inside of this, I have a couple different ways I could have done this. We'll do it in this sketch up here. We've already got a sketch for this, so we need to make a hole for that pipe to go through. It's going to go in here. So I'm thinking that covers probably around a 6-inch pipe. So let's see, we'll put a 6-inch pipe in there. That didn't change anything, but now I can go back to sketches, expand the sketch, and pop a hole through there. And I don't want to specify the distance. Instead, I'll do to object, 2, okay, cut. Ragu, it's in there. All right. Now let's turn our canvas back on and look at our canvas again. Now, I'm trying in vain here to tilt the still two-dimensional image. Oops, forgive me. So I can see just in the corner, let me hide the body again. I can see just in the corners here that this looks like it goes up some underneath it. So we'll do another sketch here on the back face of that to make that, to model that. We'll go back into the hood, hide the canvas. We are well into wild guess territory. So now I want to draw on the back of the hood, but the front of the hood is in the way. So I want to do insert. So I'm looking for section analysis. Inspect, section analysis. This asks you to pick a plane. And what this lets you do is this lets me cut the model in half. I did it wrong. Flip. There we go. So now I'm cutting the front of that off so I can see the back wall. Awesome. Now I'm still in my sketch. I'm in the sketch. I'm in sketch workspace. I've got the palette over here. Hey, gonna do a line. Gonna make it a center line. Gonna start here at the origin. Gonna go up. Put them right there. X to make that into a construction line where things don't snap to it and it doesn't break the profiles. And I'm going to project this back face in here. Okay. So this comes out some distance from this wall and goes up at a 45-degree angle and then does something else. I can't really see what else it does inside of here, but it goes up. So do that and bring this over here to the center line. Bing, magic. This line is a 45-degree angle. This is should be vertical. It's already got a constraint on it, perpendicular constraint, that's fine. This guy should be horizontal vertical as well. Now if I go to mirror, I can pick 1, 2, 3 lines for my mirror line. So it's supposed to automatically pick the center line. I guess turning it a construction line made it not a mirror line anymore. Yeah. All right, so I exit the sketch and it's Q. I'll cut through this. And the distance is to one side, the extent is to object, and then to the back here. There you go. So now the back of that is cut out. But I did something bad here inside the sketch. I didn't put any dimensions on that. Let's fix that. How long do we think this is? Certainly more than an inch. It's probably about 3 inches. That's roughly the width of a dollar bill. And this distance from here to here, I'm guessing it's probably 6 inches. No, it's not that tall. 4 inches. And this distance from here to here, we'll say it's probably half that. Those are wild guesses because there's no real data to base that off of. So that's that sketch. So that's that. Now if I go and I turn off my section analysis, now I've got the parts of the hood that we can see. Isn't that special? We can go deeper. All right, so if you push M, is it? No, it's not M for material. There we go. Physical material is what I just clicked there under the materials. We're going to go to metal, and we're looking for copper. Brass, bronze, copper, copper wrought, copper patina. Oh, you know what? Let me bring that back up again. Repeat, right click, repeat physical material, bodies, make the duct cover also copper patina. Any other coppers with like a prettier texture on them? That would be a no. Oh, that's too bad. This is what it'll look like when it's new. What else can we do in here? Oh, you know what? On this duct cover, let's work on him for a second. So earlier I used the shell operation to hollow out that the hood. Yeah, another way you could do that would be with a sketch. So I come in here and draw a sketch on top of this cover. And I P to project and project in this. I'm going to do an offset of this outside perimeter. And you know, I'm getting tired of typing in 0.0478, so I'm going to go to change parameters, hit the plus sign, and this is 18 gauge steel thickness. I've assumed that copper and steel have the same thicknesses and gauges. I probably shouldn't do that because the imperial system is just a wonky fellow. It doesn't like that name because it starts with a number. So we'll do sheet metal thickness. Sheet metal thickness. Okay. Since I'm in here, I've used this 0.0478 in one other place when I did the shell operation. That's how thick I set the wall to be. We come down here and change this to the sheet metal thickness. Great. Distracted there. Let's go back to this offset operation. This is going to be the sheet metal thickness, but I'm thinking that if you want this to be on the inside here, you would do times -1, and that would flip it to the inside, which is what I'm going to do in this case. Right? Now, this cover is installed after the main duct is actually installed, so I need to break this body as well. And so there's going to be a distance from here to this little corner, and that distance is probably about an inch is realistic. And draw another one of these over here. Instead of specifying the dimension again, I'll do another symmetry constraint. So there's this. Over to this side, click him, and then click the middle. Magic. Okay. Finish sketch. Now I do Q, which is the press, pull, and extrude command. I select the inner profile plus this guy. We're going to extend type to object the bottom face. Okay. And there's that. There's the duct cover on top of our arrangement. Great. There's that. And I'm guessing that this probably just sits in place and there's not anything holding it there. If I'm wrong about that, you might add some brackets in here to hold it, or a snap fit. I might put a little magnet on there, but I'm thinking that probably just sits in place and the spring fit around the chimney or ductwork is what holds it. What else can we do? Look at that canvas again. Here, little fellow. There we go. We've got that, turn the body up. Make it fit on the screen so y'all can see. And let's turn the bodies off. And we've got this framework around the edge of it that looks like it's riveted in place. Let's make that. I'm guessing that's probably an inch tall. I'm going to turn the hood back on. So to do this, I'm going to start all the way back here on this back corner, and I'm going to make a sketch back here. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this, okay? And I'm going to project in this line from this edge here. Where's my, oh, I did not fillet it all the way down. It's almost like I saw this coming. So I'll bring in the curve and this line here. I'll go ahead and project those in. Good. I'm going to turn the hood off. L for line. I think that's probably angle iron. So we're going to draw some angle iron here. I'm intentionally drawing this wrong because I don't want it to pick up any weird constraints. So I'm going to do this and then L. So this part that's showing through is the profile. I'm going to turn it off. Think with, yeah, this checkbox over here, this profile checkbox. Get him out of my way. And I don't like this line. I've changed my mind on this line. Let's make another line that comes down here. And I'm going to have to delete a few of these. That's fine. Delete, delete. Move this guy down just a smidgen. You're not going to let me move it down a smidgen? Fine, I'll delete it. Make those two perpendicular. This guy perpendicular with that. Right click, repeat perpendicular. This guy perpendicular with that. It already has that constraint. Now this line is going to go. Make this coincident. And I'm going to trim off the end there, trim off that as well. And this should be horizontal and vertical. This should also be horizontal and vertical. When it does something weird like this, Control Z is your friend. Constraint, horizontal, vertical. I don't know what I did wrong there. Horizontal, vertical, great. Now this guy, oh, because I had horizontal, vertical, that, and so it moved the whole thing. Now, sheet metal has a thickness or this angle iron's got its thickness, I'm going to assume that it is the same thickness as the sheet metal the stuff is made of. And this stuff is usually symmetrical, so this side, angle line, please, thank you. Angle line, these are equal. This and this are also equal. What didn't I take? This and this are equal. So now they're the same size. Now finally, this and this should be touching. Like this line and this line should be touching. Constraints, collinear. And at this point, we'll go down here. We can click on the point and grab the point specifically. Click on the point and make them coincident. Yay. All right. I got this body. This looks funny to me. Why does this look funny? Like, what is this angle here? Because it doesn't look like 90 degrees. What is this angle? Also 90 degrees. Okay, so just an optical illusion. The last thing is, how long does this need to be? Should be an inch. Right. Again, I've made up measurements here. Finish sketch. I'm going to share the hood now. Why did I go through and do all of that? Now I can go and I want to sweep along path. So sweep is, oh, you won't let me pick the profile. Won't you let me pick the profile? Aw. So it's a pretty common thing in Fusion that if I go back here and I edit the sketch, we'll figure out why this isn't a profile. So I'll check this box here for profiles again. No, it was because I had the profile box unchecked. Neat. Not neat, a little frustrating. So you could grab this and just drag it out. And that would be a way to do this. I am not going to do that. I'm going to create sweep. Well, where's the body? Uh-oh, I have it turned off. That's why. So here's my profile. The path I'm going to sweep it along is make sure I pick the right edge. Should be the outer one. Pink. Yeah. Will you go around the corner for me? You will go around the corner for me. Okay. Now I got that all the way around the outside edge. It's subtle. You really can't see it. Maybe I need thicker metal for that. Yep. I'm going to hit OK. Oh, something I could do here. Be special. Edit feature. And instead of joining it to the existing body, read into a new body. Now there. If I put it as a new body, I can hit A for appearance. Take this copper patina, duplicate it, edit it, and let's make it a little more green. So these are RGB values, red, green, blue, I think. Let's make this one. You know, there's a reason they don't let me pick colors. There's my green border around it. And this, we won't leave him named body 3, we'll name him frame. All right, let's go back to our canvas. Hide the hood in the frame. And so I got a hook right here and a chain. And I've got some rivets. Yeah, we can put some rivets in it. That'll be fun. So before I do that, I'm going to rename some of these sketches. The slash sketch here is the frame. I would like to rename this. F2 is renamed. This is the profile of the hollow out. What is the cutout? Is the chimney cover. So I've named these. So now we want to put some rivets in it. We turn on the frame here. And then I proceed to turn on everything else except the frame. That's good. Let's look right at the front view of this. And we're going to create a sketch. This. I'm going to make a circle here and a circle here. Make this some distance from the edge. It's probably 6 inches. And that's pretty close. I have no idea how big these rivet holes need to be. So I'm going to say they're a half an inch for the head, and then a 1/4 inch inside that for the rivet hole. C for circle. Do this again. And then we don't want to type again, so we'll use the equal constraint. This guy and this guy will be the same. The inner two will be the same. Good. Now, how far down from the top are they? I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to come over here to the edge. And I'm going to draw a line through these. And this little triangle right here says this is a midpoint constraint, which means that it's in the middle of that line being the edge of the frame. Okay? Now, these can move up and down right now. So I'll pick one of them, constraint coincident, and nail him to the line. I'll do the same thing for this other guy. Pick him in the center line. Now my center line, X to make it a construction line. And right now you can see it's at an angle. It starts at the midpoint, but then it angles up from there. So if I come back here and I do a horizontal vertical constraint on him, voila, it's in there. Now we can do the same thing on the other side. I am not going to do the same thing on the other side. We have a secret trick that will help us later. So finish sketch. So in the duct cover and in the hood, there we go. Make him visible again. Hit Q, and I'm going to take and both of these will cut. Hide the canvas here. And I want them to cut to object the inner wall. And the objects to cut, it should cut through both the frame and the hood. There they are. It's that, so there are those. Now I need to stick a rivet in there. A few different ways that you can do that. I'm not going to stick a rivet in there because I'm tired and it's time to go to bed soon. So I promise we have a secret that would help us later. Here we go. We're going to do create. We're going to mirror this. Mirror. And we want to mirror features. Poke in that hole is the feature we want. The mirror plane is the middle of the hood. Like that. I got them on both sides. There are the holes. It's magic. All right, look at the canvas again. Maybe we'll do the chain hooks. Want to do the chain hooks? Yeah, we'll do the chain hooks. Okay. So to do the chain hooks, I'm going to go back and edit this sketch again. And I need a hole for that chain hook to go through. So it's going to be about here. And I'm going to say that that is probably a 1/4 inch, 0.25. Okay. So it is nailed onto that midline, which is where I want it. And it's going to be some distance from the edge. I think 2 inches. Is 2 inches a good round number? Okay. Finish sketch. I'm going to come back and I'm going to edit this where I made the holes. And I'm going to pick this guy as well. Now I'm going to come back to where I mirrored these, feature, and the objects. Oh, look, because I picked the feature, it's already there. I have 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Awesome. So that's done. The next thing, this chain is going to mount on, let me hide some bodies, hide the hood, hide the frame. There's going to be an eye hook or one of those round eye hooks in here. Let's go make a round eye hook. So far, I have resisted the urge to do any components. This part should be its own component. Most of those parts should be their own component. We're not going to talk about it. Great. So the parent is the root document, and this is an eye hook. Eye. Hide the canvas. We'll do this from the top down. From the top down. Great. Shockingly, like everything else in Fusion, it starts with a sketch. Okay, so it's going to have I need to hide this origin and show this origin. In a sketch, I'm going to draw a line that goes down some distance, and then on the end of this line, there's going to be a circle. This line should point at the middle of this circle. So, great. Now, there's going to be a gap in it. I've not done this before, so we're just kind of figuring this out as we go. This really shouldn't be a circle. This should be an arc. Okay. So let's put a line right here. I've just arbitrarily chosen a point there. Here's a line. I'll come up here to my trim tool. This is now an arc. Great. Like that. How big do you think those are? I think it's probably 3/4 of an inch. We'll do 0.75. This is for a radius, not a diameter. So 0.75, it's probably an inch. We'll make it an inch divided by 2. So half-inch radius. Good. How far out do you think this thing sticks out the back? Inch, inch and a half? Oh no. Oh, look, my little fuzzy line here is doing something silly. All right, let's bring this around. Well, we need a measurement or an angle from here to here. L for line, X to make it a construction line, L for line, X to make it a construction line. Great. And this dimension here, 15 degrees, almost all the way around. Now, do a fillet here from this to this. Now got a and last thing I need to do, the last thing I think I need to constrain is to attach this to the origin. So I'm going to do that here on this point, pick the origin, said pick the origin, there we go. And coincident. Now it turns white, it's a solid piece. There's a tool in Fusion called the pipe tool. I have never used it before. Let's play with it. Okay. So the hole is 1/4 inch. That's 2/8 of an inch, or 4/16. If we make this 3/16 of an inch, then it should fit neatly in the hole. Sweet. I can't believe that worked. Okay. Hide the origin. Want to push our luck? Let's push our luck. I want to thread this. Not all the way. Not full length. Make it just for the first inch. Okay. A number 10 thread. 1024. Right hand that. So the modeled checkbox makes Fusion slower. That's it's good for 3D printing. No reason for this application to model that. Okay. No, not one. This is going to have a little bitty chamfer on it. Nice. There's our eye. What do we think? Maybe we'll go back in that sketch. Let's edit the sketch. $10 degrees. It's still working with 10 Oh, look, it's almost closed. That's perfect. Great. Now I've got a body in here, and this is the eye hook. Awesome. I'm going to come back up here to this top level thing. Now we got to make some components now. So we've got the hood. Let's show him. Right click. We want to create components and bodies. Right click, create components and bodies. Right click, create components and bodies. Ta-da! Show the frame. Show the duct cover. Show the hood. Great. And then the eye hook. that as well. So there's a little anchor right here that says that this part shouldn't move, that everything else should move, but not this. This is wrong. So we're going to unground him. What should move should be the hood. So we will ground him. Right click, ground apparent. There's our little eye hook. Isn't he happy down there? Neat. We need to copy him. We need 2 of those. Move or copy M. You have to check the box to create a copy before you move it, or it doesn't work. Lesson learned. Now, we need to make a joint here. This needs to go in this hole. Symbol, joint. And zoomed in too far. We'll use that. And we'll stick that in that hole right there. Okay. J for joint. Zoom in, grab him. And stick him in your hole. That hole right there. Now, you could come in here and make this a revolute joint where he literally spins, but he's not supposed to spin. He's supposed to be just like that. Okay. There's an eye hook. Okay. Putting the number 10 bolt on the inside of this fastener is left as an exercise for the viewer. Okay. We think we want some rivets now too? I definitely want some rivets now. Let's go make some rivets. Assemble. New component. So I'm going to turn off all the other components. Dink, 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 dink. There's one still on. There he is. And let's put the view to the origin. We need to make a sketch. I'll make the sketch here on this plane. We're going to do a nifty little thing. Give me a center line. That is a center line. Perfect. I've drawn a complete blank on what I'm doing now. Add a smidge. L. So we need to dimension this guy. Oh, I jumped out of my sketch. Let me go back into him. Play sketch. So the distance from here to the center. So this is a 1/2 inch rivet. So this should be a 1/4 inch. And then this distance from here to here. That dimension is wrong. It's trying to do the mirror. No, it wants the whole thing. Okay, so let's say this is a 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch fitting won't go in a 1/4 inch hole. But now, grab my dimensions and put them down here where they'll actually fit on the screen. And the way the bolt's 1.5 inches long, that was probably too long. Let's make this 0.75. 1/2 inch is probably plenty long. Yeah. All right, so there's a rivet. sketch went. Let's fit him on the screen. Now I want to revolve this profile. Okay. Okay. And this physical material we'll make these into shiny copper. A, B, C, D, shiny copper. Pink. Great. So now I got a rivet. I need a bunch of those. So come back out of this. Okay. I'm gonna unhide the frame here. My rivet. There's my rivet. I'm gonna do a joint. All the way in, and if I pick this outside edge of the rivet, that'll give the right face. And I pick this side of the frame, this hole here. I can bring it in there, but it's on the wrong side. We need to flip him around. Flip. And voila. Yep. So there's that. Now we need to M to move or copy. Move objects, components. And I told you I have to hit the button. Move or copy. Components. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, well, that sucks. Where's my rivet? Where'd you go, little guy? This guy. M to move or copy. Components. Oh, well, let me create a copy here. Well, that sucks. Oh, now it will. Good. Create a copy. Put him over. Let's put him down on this hole right here. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong hole. Screwed up. M for move or copy. Components. This guy. Put him in the wrong hole. Okay. Create a copy. Oh, there's that. Now I need this guy. He'll get an as-built joint. So assemble as-built joint. Why is an as-built joint? Right? It's because it's in the right spot. So this links to this, and they're in the correct place already. So there's that. And we got the. I gotta do that 2 more times. M move or copy. This components. Create a copy. Slide him way down here a bit. Pick a hole. Okay. Copy. You probably don't have to go back and start with the same one each time. I choose to do so. What? What are you doing? Oh, it's moving the whole thing. Neat. Why is it moving the whole thing? Because now I'm messing with joints and stuff, and I've got a rigid relationship already created there. This one doesn't have a joint on it. Let's try moving him. Move. Yeah, there we go. But I moved it without checking the create a copy box. Start again. M, move. There we go. Components. Pick it. Create a copy. And I'll do it. Blink. Awesome. Sneeze. Pick. Assemble. Joints. As-built joints. You are stuck to you. Okay. Assemble. As-built joint. You are stuck to you. Okay. Great. Now I've got that. I turn the hood back on so we can see it. This, not pick there. This is not rigidly fixed to the thing. I can move it around. So let's fix that. Hit Control Z to put it back in the spot where it was. Assemble, joint, ank, assemble, ank, assemble. Third time's the charm. Assemble joint between the hood and the frame. Nice. Now it's stuck in there, and it's stuck in there permanently. Did I put a joint on the eye hook? Did. Put a joint on the other one? Yeah, I did that too. Sweet. There should be a joint appearing for these, and I don't see one. Let's see if we find the joints and live in relationships. Joints. All right, we got eye bolt 1, eye hook, rivet, 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 rivet. All right, so it's just showing the relationships back there for God knows what reason. Nice. All right. See what that looks like if we render it. Render. I don't like the green. I think it's too green. Fine. This is the frame. Frame? Right click. Physical material. Where's my green color? The color's not in there. Oh, I didn't. Color. Look, there's a color book here where you can pick Pantone colors. I don't want to pay for Pantone colors. So we go to edit colors. That's way too green. That's too yellow. That looks a little better. Awesome. Close. Let's turn everything back on. Duck cover. Eye hook. Let's render it. Do in canvas render. It'll show up here. A completely reasonable person would ask, why didn't you draw the chain? It's because it's after my bedtime and I'm tired. That's why. But, we'll leave that as a project for another time. Y'all have a good night.